Welcome back to Spotter Jutting Amateur Radio. I'm your host, Ben, amateur call sign K0BJJ. Today we're going to be talking about ARES, specifically ARES Skywarn, and how ARES interacts with Skywarn and whatnot. We're going to be talking about more of a bigger picture approach. We're going to be talking about my layered approach at storm spotting. So with that, I do have some maps here. I will try to overlay them so that way you can see them better on screen. But bear with me. I'm going to show them, and if I can overlay them, you're just going to see me pointing at nothing. Actually, you'll see me pointing at a better map. So here, we have the glorious state of Iowa. And in the glorious state of Iowa, we are right here, Jasper County. Almost exactly where my pointer is. Now, when it comes to a larger picture approach, when it comes to a storm event, I am not focusing specifically on Jasper County at first. I am focusing on Boone, Dallas, Madison, Clark, Warren, Polk, and Story counties. Story, Polk, Warren are what we call our reactionary area, our yellow zone, if you will, Jasper being the red zone. You want to have everything up and going by the time things hit red, yellow's your reactionary zone. Think about it like a stoplight. Now, unlike a stoplight, Boone, Dallas, Madison, and Clark are what I would consider a blue zone. This is an awareness zone. If you want to think of it, well, I think there is a blue stripe on a bullseye. Now I'm going to have to check on that. But think about it. It's that next ring out. We have to be aware what's coming. And I say just specifically these counties because that's the majority of where our weather comes from. Now this also mirrors on the other side. So in the strange situation that we have a storm coming from the other direction, Tama, Poweshiek, Mahaska would be our yellow zone. Wapello, Keokuk, Iowa, and Benton counties would be our blue zone. We very rarely get storms come straight from the north or straight from the south, but it's the same thing. It's just a ring around us. Now, I'm going to be talking about the majority of the situation time. The majority of the situation time, storms are tracking from southwest to northeast, from west to east, or northwest to southeast. So that's going to specifically keep a target on these counties right here, Boone, Dallas, Madison, and Clark. Now the big picture of things is we in ARES, specifically the emergency coordinators, the assistant emergency coordinators, the district emergency coordinators, assistant district emergency coordinators need to be working on our communication with counties directly around us. Ideally, and I say ideally, this is a work in progress currently in the state. As soon as something hits Dallas County, they are going to pass their information they have to Polk County. Polk County is going to pass the information they have to Jasper County. So if Dallas County, which I am talking to the Dallas County EC, Dan, he is a wonderful man. If you are in the Dallas, Polk, Boone, or Madison County areas, if you would love to reach out to him, he is a wonderful resource. I believe his call sign is K0WOI. If not, look up Dallas County ARES. You'll be able to find their Facebook group and their all the information over there. Wonderful team, a team to model after. Same with Warren County. They have another model team. Excellent group. But ideally, what Dan sees over in Dallas County, he would report then to Polk. Hey, we spotted a tornado on the ground near Perry, heading in your direction. And Polk would go, copy, thanks for letting us know. Now, National Weather Service is right in this area also. So the information coming from Boone and Dallas counties confirms what National Weather Service sees on their radar. And I don't know if a lot of you know this, there actually is a dead spot directly under our radar dome. So if they have a storm moving towards that dead spot, Polk is going to know, hey, we need to probably get a spotter up by National Weather Service. National Weather Service is going to know maybe we should not look at our computer screens. We should get some people outside looking around, because there is a little dead area. I can't tell you, I don't believe it's any more than 5 miles, but there is a zone directly around a radar dome there that the radar cannot see. It's too close for radar. But now ideally, Polk County, let's say right over in this area, the Altoona area, they have something. Now it would be nice if they called over to us and say, hey, Jasper County, we have spotted funnel clouds in Altoona, or north of Altoona along the interstate. They're heading your direction. You know, then we can go, okay, yeah, we were listening. Thank you for letting us know. We're going to deploy spotters, or we already have spotters deployed, or we're positioning spotters. I'll get into my next map, if it'll work, over to the Colfax and Mingo areas. Now, this is where my layered approach at storm spotting goes in. My layered approach keys in on several layers of spotters. We want to have them as close to the county line as possible. Then we want to have another layer 5 to 10 miles behind them, another layer 5 to 10 miles behind them, and so on till it pushes out of the county. We don't necessarily need spotters on the eastern part of the county with the storm tracking west to east, but we do need to have them over by Kellogg, Sully, Linville, so that way we're not leaving those communities out. So with the storm tracking west to east, if we can get spotters between Colfax and the county line, between Mingo and the county line. Now there is a road that goes between Colfax and Mingo. No, I've spotted on that road before. It's about five or so miles off the county line. Has excellent line of sight. Not a bad place. But we're hopefully in the big picture going to get notified. Hey, we have a storm coming our way. We have people layered in advance. That way, as soon as the storm crosses into the county, we are tracking it. Then we're doing our storm spotting operations. This first line here has the storm past them. They're going to redeploy. It's going to hit the second line of spotters. They're going to do their reports. They're going to redeploy. And a lot of the redeployment might not necessarily be mean after the storm. Maybe we have multiple lines of storms coming through. And okay, the first line really hit Colfax and Mingo hard, but the second line is coming in and it looks like it's going to hit down by Prairie City. So then these guys are just going to shift south, get in position for the second line, and so on. We don't want to chase after the storm. So chasing after the storm, not necessarily what we're out to doing. We're not storm chasers, we're storm spotters. Now, if we are really short on spotters and someone wants to tail the storm from a safe distance and report what they are seeing, we're not going to tell them no. In fact, that's what I more than likely would be doing as soon as I have something past me. As long as nothing else is threatening and coming in, I'm probably going to start tailing the storm, especially if we noticed anything peculiar about it, just to keep eyes on it. Now, I might run into a different line of spotters, but more eyes on the same thing, there's nothing wrong with that. Normally during these events, we do have multiple storm chasers in the area, and some of them do have radio equipment. Now, it is appreciated when they give their intel, but we ran into a situation this last summer down in Pella where it was a 1 to 2 second transmission and someone asked for clarification and there was nothing. So if you are a storm chaser coming through the area, please be able to at least get on the radio and answer some questions like, who are you? Because we don't know who you are. And maybe, you know, if you say I'm a Skywarn spotter, I'm a storm chaser, generally we'll take it for what it is. But we're going to try to get our people spotting. We're going to alert authorities that, hey, this was reported by a person that we don't know, but we're trying to get eyes on what they're seeing, stuff like that. The big picture is we have a team going forward. So when the storm hits someone outside of my county, they report to the next county. They report to us. We report to the next county. We have that layered approach, so that way we have a continuous coverage of what's going on. Now, with some storms, you don't know. You think of the bullseye, the red zone, where we're at in Jasper County. If they fire in Jasper County, which often is the case, we'll have storms fire in the county, meaning they're not severe. They look like rain. There's nothing to report on them until they get into the county or partial the way through the county. We're chasing our tails at that point to get people out, but we don't have any, I mean, there's no information to pass on. I cannot look at Warren County, Polk County story. I can't look at them and say, why didn't you give us a heads up when it actually formed in our county? So that's kind of one of those situations where we have to chase our tail. But ideally, this is the ideal situation. Everyone is communicating from outside the county into us, vice versa. We're listening to different frequencies. I always have a secondary frequency going. I've been talking to Dan, like I've said, over in Dallas County. There's talks of there's a major repeater over in Polk County about them possibly jumping on that and saying, hey, this is what's going on, because that would alert all the amateur radios operators in Polk County. Well, let's just put it this way. I'll pull this back up. There is a repeater located about right here in Polk County. I can hit that repeater all the way up in Hamilton. They can hear it all the way up in Buena Vista. The repeater has a wonderful footprint, but we've been talking about that. Hey, when you pass it on, I'll be listening to this repeater over here. If you're in the area, it's the Grime 610 repeater. Wonderful footprint on it. It's one of those things where we've talked about maybe he'll jump over there and say, hey, all amateurs within listening, this is Dallas County ARES. We have a storm moving in the Polk County or moving this direction. Be advised, storm spotters reported X, Y, and Z. That's information I need to know. One, I need to get my team out because now it's entering my reaction zone. And two, I can tell my team, hey, Dallas County spotted this. This was X, Y, and Z was reported. We know what we're looking for. Torrential rainfall, okay, we're looking for flash flooding. We're just going to spread out, kind of in a checkerboard pattern, kind of get out everywhere. Wait for some flash flooding. Wait, maybe watch some low spots. Get ready to call county and say, hey, Skunk River just flooded the road here, here, and here. You might want to get barricades out. So it's information like that. That's the big picture of ARES. We are out there to preserve property and life, but mainly life. And by life, I mean letting county know they need barricades up in flooded areas so no one tries to drive through them. And now, someone drives through a flooded river, now they're downriver now. Well, turn around, don't drown, flood safety. If we're out spotting and we see a funnel cloud, now we can let National Weather Service and county know. We can get sirens going. People can get in basements. This is about preserving life more so than property. And I always fall back to the preserving life and property statement because that's a private security thing. That's my background. We're out there to protect life more so than property. We're there to observe. We're there to report. I'm not sending anyone into a flooded river. I'm not sending anyone into a wreckage. I'm out there telling my people, if you see a house get destroyed, let net control know so we can call 911. We can let 911 know so they can get emergency services out there. Now, if they want to stand by the house and do some shout outs into the structure, is everyone all right? Can anyone hear me? I don't discourage that at all. That's considered a welfare check in Jasper County ARES. And then they'll report back, hey, I just watched this house get destroyed by a tornado. I pulled in the driveway to where I was where I was safe, not reasonably safe, they were safe. And I yelled out to the structure 4 or 5 times. I didn't hear anything back. I'm going to stay in this area, send emergency services. So then I would encourage them to get out of the driveway so that way emergency services can get in, and they're just going to monitor that. There's nothing wrong with that. If someone came out of the structure, let's say, I'm going to keep going with this tornado scenario. Someone came out and they're bleeding heavily from their arm. If they want to render first aid, I highly encourage all my spotters to be first aid CPR trained and to have first aid kits. I'm not requiring they do it, but hypothetically speaking, if someone, comes out of a structure that just got taken out by a tornado and they're bleeding and this spotter has first aid supplies and they want to render first aid, I'm not telling them no. So in that point, you are doing a, saving life, because if it's a bad cut to the head or whatever, they are rendering first aid until advanced medical services can get there and then transport to hospital, whatever needs to happen. But we're there to get sirens going. We're there to get barricades up. We're there to report property damage. We're there to report blocked roads, stuff like that for the Skywarn aspect. Now for the ARES aspect, or emergency communications part of that, that's a whole different can of worms, but it can span into that. That being said, the big communication, the big thing to take away from this is communication. I don't know if I've said communication enough. We as ECs need to be communicating with one another. The district needs the district EC, and the assistant district needs ECs. We need to be communicating to the ECs. Everyone needs to be communicating with state. We all need to have communication. If there is a mass event somewhere, if Marshalltown gets hit with an EF3 tornado again and they need emergency communications, we need to be able to get nets up and going to aid them. Not only that, they should have already known a storm capable of doing that was headed their way so they could get spotters out. Communication is the key to success. Communication is the big picture. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Before we end this up, I want to thank you all, the new subscribers. We've gone up, I believe, 37 subscribers in the past 30 days. We've gone up 91 subscribers in the past 90 days. The majority of you watching aren't subscribed. So please, 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 smash that subscribe button, hit the like. It really helps the channel. It helps everything out. Also, I'm going to do another shameless plug to the Patreon. I do have 3 levels set up. They all have some different things going with them. But if you do the simple $5 a month membership, odds are you could have saw this video almost a week ago, because the first thing that happens after I record a video is I upload an unedited version to the general tier. As soon as it gets edited, the final copy or near final copy, and I say near final copy because often before I even get a thumbnail for it, gets uploaded so the technician tier can see the video in its edited format. And if you are an amateur extra, you're going to get live content. I'm going to throw your name on the end of a video and a thank you patrons section. So there you go, our 3 tiers. If you're an amateur radio operator, which I presume you are if you're watching this, you already know where I got my tiers from. With that, I want to thank everyone for watching, and we will see you on the next video.